Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Drawing with Mr. Mathews. So, on this episode, I'm going to continue where I left off, which is now increasing the amount of value on the areas that I have already mapped out. I'm also going to be taking my trusted eraser, and if you don't have one of these, it's okay, a standard eraser works. But if you have one of these or want to order one off Amazon, they're just an electronic eraser, and basically what it does is it spins so you can get more precise area where you want to erase. And I'm going to be taking out all of these little marks that I had previously put in to proportion and compose everything on this. So if there's an area that I want to darken up, I've already started by doing hatching in one direction, and I've already kept the areas in which that I want to separate. Now when I go back over and I want to darken up, so for example, if we're looking at this photo that I'm drawing, I'll put it over here to the side because of this area having a reflection. If I want to darken up some of these areas, I've already gone one direction with the hatching. And so now I'm going to not do this area in particular, but over here is a lot darker. I'm just going to go the other direction, like so. So for example, right here against the sides of the nose, inside all of here on the top of the eye, I'm going to leave that area light by only having one area of cross-hatching. And I'm going to actually put this all in time-lapse at this point because I'm probably going to be working on this for about, an hour or longer, and doing that slow or having the video run would just take just too much time and space. So I'm going to time-lapse it at this point. And if there's ever a point while I'm drawing this and I feel that there's a really important section or part of information that I want to talk about, I will either stop the video and go back into real time, or I will just narrate over my time lapse and explain what I'm doing. So at this time, enjoy the music and watch how I'm doing it. Thank you.
Baby, don't you leave. It'll crush my heart, it'll bust my teeth. Oh, I don't wanna sleep. Don't you see the man I know you wanted me? Baby, don't you leave. It'll crush my heart, it'll bust my teeth. Oh, I don't wanna sleep. Don't you see the man I know you wanted me? You tore me off, spat me out. What the fuck do you want from me now? Baby, don't you leave. It'll crush my heart, it'll bust my teeth. Oh, I don't wanna sleep.
All right, guys. Welcome back. And as you can see, I just finished up doing all of the cross-hatching's first layer. So first I started off by doing everything in a cross-hatching going in this diagonal pattern just because it was comfortable for my hand. Now in this last time lapse, I did everything in a darker cross-hatch going the opposite direction to now start to really darken up all these levels that I have on this face that I'm drawing. And if you see this, I'm going to pull it over here to the side so you can see it better. I still have to get a lot deeper into these values around the eyes, on the inside of the nostrils in here, over here on this eye, over here, and down here in the nose, and the upper lip, and down here into the neck, and blah, 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 so on and so forth. And then I don't even want to start to do the hair yet. I'm just trying to do the basic, basic first layers. So as you can see, I still have a lot of work to do. That probably took me about 30 minutes to go across in this opposite direction. There's no fast or easy way around this. So if some of you are saying, oh man, Mr. Mathews, I'm done, I give up. Well, you know what? That's your choice. But the way to make a good portrait is to just keep adding layers and layers and layers. The next thing I did after I pulled this in, I realized that on this side of the face, there were plenty of areas that I hadn't even shaded in yet with that first layer. So this darker layer that I just put in allowed me to see that I needed some lighter shadow over on this side, up in the forehead over here, and even on this whole side of the neck where there's no, the highest highlights, if you can see on here, the highest highlights are here on the head, right here on the nose, over here on this side of the cheek, over here on the lip, over here. The neck is just as dark as some of these other areas. So this definitely needed one whole area of value. And there's some other parts on the cheek right here, all this area on this side of the forehead and this side of the forehead to really show this highlight, even though it's very, very subtle. So now I'm going to go back into another time lapse, and I might put this into a separate video or maybe not. And I'm going to start going in a different direction. So I've gone top left to bottom, or, you know, I don't even know if it's left or right. But anyways, I've gone in this diagonal pattern, and then I went back and went this diagonal pattern. Now I'm going to most likely go top to bottom and even left to right. I might do 4 layers of this to really darken up some of these areas and then pull in some of these other values out more. And you're going to see this thing even transform more and more and more. The more layers you go, the more realistic this thing's going to be. And don't worry about this right here. This was me just spilling my tea earlier, you know. And actually, after I'm done with this, I might offer you guys an extra credit on doing some type of interesting background, and I might turn this into some type of painting or watercolor to really make this face pop out and the background really be more muted. So I'm going to throw you back into another time lapse. Enjoy the music. You're going to watch me push this thing even further so that when you guys say, well, I think I'm done, where do I go now? Now I'm going to show you that even though this might look done, you can still make this thing even more and more and more detailed. And I mean, there are some portraiture artists that push this thing even further and further, and I'm not even a portraiture artist. So enjoy the music, and I'll come back in after I do a couple more layers. Maybe it's just vertical, maybe it's horizontal. Who knows? We'll see. We're just having fun here. We're just trying to push this thing the best we can. All right, see you soon.
Don't you see the man I know you wanna meet? Baby, don't you leave. It'll crush my heart, it'll bust my teeth. Oh, I don't wanna sleep. Don't you see the man I know you wanna meet? You tore me off, you spat me out.
Welcome back, guys. So at this point, I've done 3 levels of cross-hatching. I've gone diagonal one way, diagonal that way, and I've gone vertical top to bottom. At this point, the shading is about as dark as it's going to get with this pencil. It won't get any darker. So I need to either make the decision of going darker with a pen or a charcoal pencil. And also the next thing is, even though this is has some pretty nice blends in there, if I move this away from the reflection that's in there, you can start to see that even though that there is some nice blends in here, I still need to go in here a little bit and work in some more of this area to blend it just a little bit better. And all right, that's where I'm going to leave this for today. Thank you.